All right, guys, it's almost wheeling season. By the time this video goes up, we will be on the way to S'more, which is in southern Missouri. We're going there to get the 3 badge trails, see the park, see a new area of the country. So super excited about that. Got the Jeep out here, wanted to do one final kind of build update before we hit wheeling season. Once we hit wheeling season, we will literally be wheeling every 2 weeks until Christmas. So this is probably going to be the end of a lot of the Jeep specific updates and things. We may throw the Curry arms on sometime when we get back from S'more, but other than that, I hope it's done for now. I'm going to come at you guys, let you know what to expect. Hopefully you follow along with us as we go on our wheeling adventures. September, we've got S'more, and we're going to a local area in Brookwood, Alabama, with a lot of interesting tunnels and everything that you may have seen online, but it's a really cool spot. So those are our 2 September rides. October, we've got Stony Lonesome and Hawk Pride, both here in Alabama. And then November, we've got our big Windrock trip, which will be awesome. So that's kind of what we've got coming up in the near future. So let's spin around and kind of look at the Jeep. As you can see, we are kind of checking our suspension out. Got it really flexed out here. Pretty cool area to come back here and check things out like this. I don't have a lot of area at the house to check the suspension and everything, so everything's looking good. Just a few updates that we have done before we go to S'more and hit the trails for the remainder of the year. I threw some extra Rubicon Express front control arms on that are adjustable because we were having some issues with keeping an alignment caster wise. We kept loosening up our caster bolts up here with the little cam bolts on them. Those kept coming loose every ride on both sides. And we actually got a kit from Barnes that eliminates the cam bolts and makes it just a simple plain bolt. So that's what we're running up here. You have to go adjustable lowers obviously to get your caster back right. So we've got that in. Hopefully that solves the issue of our bad bushings and our Rubicon Express old non-adjustable lowers, causing these to loosen up and wiggle loose, because the last thing you want to do is drop a control arm on the trail. Other than that, we did a little spring retainer, a temporary fix here. As you can see, and you may have heard in prior wheeling videos, this spring likes to rattle loose, and that is one reason we are going to Curry Springs. But for now, for the upcoming few trips, we put a little retainer bolt on here. It's just a little clip that clamps down on the bottom of the spring, holds it in the seat down there. I just had that laying around, had to make a few modifications to it. I'll throw in a clip here of kind of the process we went through for that. So I just wanted to show you guys real quick one of the main reasons I'm hoping to ditch these Rubicon Express coils. And it's actually in the worst spot to see on camera. But there's a little groove in the coil seat right here that spring comes down to and seats in the groove where it does not move, flop around. I was able to get a spring retainer on the passenger side, but if we come over to the driver's side, if you ever hear my Jeep clanking around in any video, it's because this retainer pin will not stay in for whatever reason. I have tried, I'm about to try again, but this coil is currently unseated. You see, here's that little groove right there. The end of this spring is supposed to be up in there, and it's not. This thing has flopped around and gotten itself all out of whack to where the amount of lift per side is probably not even the same at this point. So I've got the wheels off, doing kind of a pre-ride check over, and I'm gonna reseat this driver coil and try one more time to get this retainer pin to work. But with the Curry springs, once we get them set in there correctly, with the amount of free travel that they're supposed to have, we should not have this problem anymore. Alright, the temporary fix is complete. As you can see, the end of the coil is now perfectly up in that little groove in the axle. And I found something to use as a retainer clip, cut the end off that I didn't need anymore, and mounted that to the front of the bucket right here, or the spring plate that it rests on the Dana 30. So hopefully that keeps me from clacking around until I'm able to get the Curry coils in here. Just a little quick fix before the s'more trip. So other than those two things, everything else was pretty left alone. I did go through the torque sequence on everything on the back. We have ridden twice on the Fusion 44, but I just wanted to triple check before we drive 8 miles. Excuse me, not 8 miles, before we drive 8 hours all the way to Missouri, just to have something fail on this thing. So I'm triple careful when doing things like that. But yeah, this video really just kind of prepping you guys for what we've got coming up and showing off all the hard work on the Jeep. That's some pretty good down travel for a short arm kit. And our rear isn't even touching yet. As you can see, we rub right here some, just barely, and we're not even up to that point yet. So we've got about another 2 or 3 inches of down travel up here, it looks like. Hopefully we'll get even more out of the Curry system. This tire right here would have been crammed into that barricade fender right back in here. So got all that sorted out. Anti-rock's doing its job. Pretty happy with the setup. As you can see, we've got the doors off today, no door look. Hadn't had them off in a while, kind of showing off the bar tacks. Really looks good. Like the cage. Been working on the getting the harnesses in. That'll be a separate video. But that is the rock hard 4x4 harness bar. Got it in, got the factory roll padding back on, everything looks good. Can't wait to get that Curry suspension on. I hope we get a little more articulation out of this. But even as it sits, it looks pretty good. These springs have a really firm rate, and they don't have a very long free length. I've been doing a lot of spring research. So the stiffness plus the short free length is why these things like to pick up out of the bucket. And instead of limiting our travel to keep our spring in the bucket, I would rather get max travel and just get a correct spring for that. And I believe the Currys are going to be the way to go. Pretty good articulation for a little short arm kit. Alright guys, that's about it for this one. Just wanted to bring you an update before we get on the road. This is going to be a busy wheeling season. Got a lot of videos coming your way on wheeling content. We've got 10 Jeeps going with us to Windrock right now, and it may grow more than that. So channel's growing. Thank you guys so much for subscribing, for joining the Facebook page, liking our Instagram posts. Everything like that helps us grow. Get the word out there that we are the #1 TJ channel on YouTube. If you like the content, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you want to see me film anything or talk about anything, also let me know. I'm willing to do anything you guys want to do as far as content. If there's something you guys have a question about, feel free to drop it in the comments. Let me know. And that's about it for this one, guys. We'll end on a nice view of the Jeep Pier. We will see you in southern Missouri. Thanks for watching, guys. It's been Everyday Off-Road.